Today, we are focusing on something we all have, but maybe don't think about enough: the architecture of everyday life.
Exactly. The structure we build or, sometimes fail to build between the moment our alarm goes off and the moment our head hits the pillow.
And we're not talking about those huge, grand life goals. We're talking about the nitty-gritty, the hour-by-hour decisions that, well, they dictate whether your day feels managed and productive or...
Or completely reactive and stressful, a day you run versus a day that runs you.
Exactly. And we have an incredible stack of source material today. It's a perfect microcosm of this whole idea of human efficiency versus human chaos.
It really is. We've got these detailed, almost conversational accounts of the daily lives of two individuals. Let's call them Emily and Paul.
Right, Emily and Paul. And they live in the same modern, demanding world. They share the same struggles we all do, emails, meetings, those frustrating commutes.
But their personal 24-hour routines are polar opposites. I mean, just completely different worlds.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. It's really comparative study.
What's fascinating here is that we get to analyze these two radically different approaches to the exact same amount of time. You have Emily, who is, she's hyper-organized, she's disciplined, proactive.
And then you have Paul, who is, a bit more chaotic, reactive. He's driven by this constant need for immediate comfort, maybe some stress avoidance.
And we want to extract some real actionable insights from this. We want to look past the simple observation that, one is a morning person and one isn't.
That's too simple.
Way too simple. We're asking, how do these foundational differences in their schedules actually shape their psychology, their productivity, and I think most importantly, their level of daily friction?
Exactly. Emily is that quintessential early riser. She approaches her day like it's a structured project. There are phases. There's a plan.
And Paul operates on what you might call crisis management mode.
A perfect way to put it. He starts the day late. He's already chasing his own schedule. And every single decision that follows is influenced by that initial rush.
Which brings us to the alarm clock. This relationship with the morning, with that very first sound, it's the foundational division. It's really where we have to start.
It's the highest leverage point, isn't it?
It's absolutely the highest leverage point. The way you handle the first 10 minutes often defines the trajectory of the next 10 hours.
So Emily wakes up early, consistently, intentionally. The source says she seeks out those pre-dawn hours. She wakes up before the sun.
And she loves it. She consciously loves and prioritizes the quiet. This isn't just about being a naturally chirpy person. It's about actively carving out psychological space for herself before the world starts making demands.
Whereas Paul's first act of the day is, it's a negotiation. An argument, almost.
It's an act of resistance. He hears that loud, jarring alarm, a sound he instantly associates with stress, with obligation, and his reflex is to fight it.
He thinks, oh no already, and hits the snooze.
That 5-minute delay, then another 5, he's literally trying to steal time back from the day. He's trying to get a little bit of comfort, even though he knows deep down it's a terrible move.
This immediately raises the question of impulse control versus structure, doesn't it? Paul, in that low willpower state when he's just woken up, he chooses that immediate tiny bit of comfort.
And that guarantees a future of high stress. Just minutes later, he's going to be rushing, panicked.
Emily, by contrast, has built this system. It's a system that rewards her initial discipline. Her reward is the peace and quiet she loves. It reinforces this positive loop.
Which brings us to a key concept we need to unpack for you, the listener. The first 15 minutes of the day are an essential phase in establishing what behavior scientists call a decision architecture.
That's a powerful way to frame it. I like that. We're not just talking about getting up. We're talking about consciously designing the start of your day so that discipline becomes easier than chaos.
You're making the good choice the path of least resistance.
Right. And we're looking for those specific habits, those little nuggets that make these big abstract concepts like efficiency and cognitive load feel relatable.
Because whether you listening identify as an Emily, a Paul, or, some kind of chaotic hybrid of the two.
Which I think a lot of us are.
I think so too. There are tangible habits here that either save or, crucially, waste the limited mental energy you have for the day.
So let's dive into that morning divide, because it really is the crucial tipping point.
It's where the two paths diverge.
So let's begin with the actual sound. The sound that drags them from sleep. This is the first decision point, and it's a perfect illustration of their entire approach to life.
It is. It's so revealing. Paul's alarm is explicitly described as a loud, jarring noise. It's a shock tactic.
Like an air raid siren.
Exactly. It's a mechanism designed to interrupt sleep forcefully. It creates an instant feeling of antagonism toward the day. That feeling, that thought, oh no, already. It's a psychological reaction to resistance. He's starting his day from a defensive position.
He's already in a fight, whereas Emily uses soft music.
A gentle transition. It's an invitation to wake up, not an order. It suggests that the day is something to be eased into, not attacked.
And when Paul is finally forced out of bed, his motivator is pure, acute necessity. He's late. He has to physically jump out of bed just to try and catch up. He is 100% reactive.
And this is where we can really introduce the psychological cost of stolen time versus the benefit of found time.
Okay, break that down.
Paul's snooze button gives him stolen time. It's the illusion of more rest, but it's terrible quality rest. It fragments his final sleep phase. It often leaves him feeling groggier, and more importantly, it injects cortisol and stress into his system because he knows he's just delaying the inevitable start to a rush day.
So that extra sleep is actually making him more tired and more stressed.
Without a doubt. Emily's time, on the other hand, is found time. She wakes up early for something. She wakes up for the quiet she loves. That quiet acts as a positive reinforcement. It's a reward for her discipline.
So she starts her day with a moment of positive control, not panic.
That's the core of it. She's in the driver's seat. Paul is being dragged along by his own bad habits.
But if Paul is experiencing this high stress and frustration every single morning, why does he keep doing it? Is it just exhaustion, or is there a deeper pattern of seeking that last bit of comfort?
I think it's the very definition of immediate gratification overriding a long-term gain. In that low-energy, half-awake state, the tiny immediate comfort from the snooze button is so appealing.
So powerful.
That the highly predictable future stress of being late is just dismissed. He can't or won't think that far ahead. And this pattern of comfort seeking, we're going to see it define his entire day, especially with his afternoon choices.
Okay, so let's follow him. He's jumped out of bed, he's rushing, he goes from the bed to the coffee machine. The coffee chemistry itself tells a story here.
It really does. For Paul, coffee is not a ritual. It is emergency chemical intervention.
It's a tool, a necessary one.
The source material says it's strong and black, no milk, no sugar. It's pure, fast-acting caffeine, a necessary jolt to force his body and his brain into catch-up mode because he's running late and physically exhausted from the moment he woke up.
He needs the caffeine to function at a baseline. Emily, by contrast, takes hers with a little hot milk. She notes it's very warm and nice.
The language there implies a different speed of consumption. It's a moment to be savored. She's not just fueling up for a battle. She's engaging in a calm, pleasant ritual.
But the critical difference, maybe the highest leverage point outside of the alarm clock itself, is what they do with their phones. The phone filter.
Oh, this is massive. Paul admits he looks at the phone immediately. News, emails, social media. He just opens the floodgates.
He submits to the constant feed of external demands and the general chaos of the world before he's even processed his own internal state. It's instant reactivity.
And Emily. She executes this profound act of mental self-care. She sits by the window with her coffee and she just thinks.
Just thinks. It sounds so simple, but it's so hard to do.
It's incredibly hard in our world. She finds that silent internal reflection very calm, explicitly avoiding the immediate digital deluge. She is prioritizing her internal alignment before she allows any external demands to enter her awareness.
So this is the practice of, you called it mental buffering.
Exactly. Paul starts his day with input overload. That means his cognitive resources, his brain power, are instantly consumed by external noise. 50 emails all screaming for his attention.
And he hasn't even gotten dressed yet.
Not even. Emily provides herself a buffer zone. She creates mental space. This allows her brain to switch from a sleep state delta waves to focus cognition gently instead of being instantly slammed with all these competing demands from her inbox.
And Paul knows it's a problem, right? The source says he actually admits, maybe I should try that.
That self-awareness is key. It confirms he knows this is a massive friction point in his routine. He knows he's doing it wrong, but the habit is just too ingrained.
It's fascinating how that simple act of avoiding the phone for 10 minutes is really an investment in your future focus for the whole day.
It's the best investment you can make.
Okay, so now they're somewhat mentally prepared or panicked, depending on the person. Let's move on to breakfast.
Paul's breakfast is, again, dictated by the time pressure he created for himself. It's fast. Just toast with butter or maybe a banana. Very easy.
It's basic fuel, a necessity. Something you can eat while you're also trying to find your keys.
Exactly. Often consumes standing up or rushing out the door.
Emily, Because she created that found time by rising early, she has the luxury of time for a real meal. She eats a good breakfast, yogurt with fruit, or sometimes eggs.
She's investing the time required for better nutrition. And that, combined with the gentle wake-up, supports sustained energy later in the day. It helps her avoid the immediate crash that Paul is almost certainly setting himself up for.
Which brings us to one of the most brilliant yet simple acts of organizational efficiency in the whole source material. It's Paul's clothing system.
Oh, it's a masterpiece. This chaotic individual has, perhaps completely accidentally, stumbled upon a masterpiece of decision architecture that saves him vital energy every single morning.
It's so good because Emily, the organized one, faces the universal "I have nothing to wear" dilemma.
We've all been there.
Every day. Even though she has a full closet of shirts, pants, and dresses, she experiences choice overload. She's wasting precious early cognitive resources on a very low-stakes decision.
But Paul has eliminated this mental friction entirely. His system is ruthless in its simplicity. He only owns blue shirts, white shirts, and gray shirts.
That's it.
He grabs one and he's done. His logic is simple and powerful. No thinking. Thinking is for later.
That is the ultimate nugget of wisdom from Paul. This isn't just about clothing. This is about understanding the concept of ego depletion.
That's exactly what it is. Our willpower and our decision-making capability are finite resources. They're like a battery that drains throughout the day.
And Paul, though he's chaotic in so many other areas, has instinctively recognized that these low-stakes choices, like what color shirt to wear, they drain the exact same pool of cognitive energy he needs for complex, high-stakes decisions later.
Like responding to that big report at work or handling a difficult email from a client. By automating his wardrobe, he preserves that precious energy. He's saving it for when it counts.
Precisely. You know, we often hear about CEOs wearing the same outfit every day, and we think of it as this stroke of genius.
It is.
Paul has accidentally implemented this high-impact strategy, not out of a desire for peak performance, but because he prioritized simplicity over choice.
Oh.
It was a necessary hack for someone who starts the day chronically late.
He is simplifying the morning in a way that Emily, despite all her organization, still falls victim to. She still gets trapped by the anxiety of choice. It's a fascinating reversal.
It really is. So whether dressed by instinct in a simple blue shirt or dressed by deliberation in a nice dress, it's time for the commute. And this is where the friction shifts from internal to external. It exposes them to different types of modern-day stress.
And again, the contrast is so telling. They both experience the same overall result, stress, but it's derived from two completely distinct sources.
Paul takes the bus. He says it's very crowded, many people.
So he's dealing with physical proximity stress, the constant noise, the jostling, the complete lack of personal space. These are acute, immediate stressors. They actively drain your social batteries before you even walk into the office.
You arrive already feeling depleted.
Totally. Emily, on the other hand, is in her nice car. She's in her own little bubble, isolated, but she's dealing with terrible traffic. So many cars, all going very, very slow. Stop, go, stop, go.
Her stress is rooted in time wastage and stagnation. It's a different kind of torture.
It is. She's physically comfortable, but mentally she's experiencing this intense frustration and the perceived loss of control over her own schedule. It's the feeling that she's wasting that precious found time she created in the morning by just sitting still.
So they both turn to the same coping mechanism.
The universal coping mechanism, audio escapism.
Paul uses his headphones. He creates a mental bubble to block out the crowds listening to music or podcasts.
And Emily combats the stagnation by listening to loud music. It's a way to cope with the stop-start frustration. Both are using sound to actively filter out the negative sensory demands of their respective environments.
They finally arrive at work. Paul walks in, and his first act just reinforces the reactive nature of his whole day.
More coffee, turns on the computer.
And then the immediate, overwhelming hit of that digital wall.
Oh, so many emails. He is instantly playing defense, drowning in the flood of communication the moment he steps across the threshold.
And this is the part of the deep dive that, it often hits home for our listeners, because the universal struggle with the email inbox is real. It's a monster.
The sources suggest both Emily and Paul have jobs that require high levels of digital communication, lots of meetings. And they both say they like their work, but the structure of their work interaction differs significantly based on their morning prep.
Here's where it gets really interesting. How do they handle that volume? We know Paul is instantly reactive. He sees the emails and immediately feels overwhelmed. Does Emily handle it differently?
Well, the evidence points to Emily implementing a strategy, even if it's implicit, of batch processing.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means because she's had her calm time, her energy is stable, she is much less likely to feel the need to instantly respond to every single ping and notification.
She can prioritize.
Exactly. Her goal is likely to focus on one high-value task first, maybe tackling that big report the source mentions, before allowing the reactive flurry of emails to completely consume her time.
While Paul, starting late and already depleted, he probably uses his inbox as a to-do list.
Which is a trap so many of us fall into. And it guarantees that he will spend his most productive morning hours reacting to other people's priorities, not his own.
That's the perfect definition of chaos management versus true time management. When your inbox is your schedule, you have surrendered all control.
You're just a pinball in someone else's machine.
Okay, let's talk about midday energy management because this perfectly highlights the cost of organization versus the cost of chaos. Let's talk about lunch.
This section is a beautiful microcosm of their entire routines. It says everything about their relationship with money, time, and planning.
Emily, unsurprisingly, is the model of organization. She brings her lunch, a salad or a sandwich made that morning.
And she notes specifically that it is cheap compared to buying it. So her proactive planning minimizes her daily expenses and ensures she has nutritional control. It's just another part of her discipline.
And Paul is not organized.
Yeah.
So he buys his lunch at a small cafe, usually a sandwich. This is expensive, but
Yeah.
he gets a crucial 10-minute walk outside the office.
And he says that walk is important to him.
Right. And I have to challenge Emily's rigid efficiency here for a second. Paul trades money for convenience, yes, but also for a necessary moment of physical movement and fresh air.
That's a really interesting point.
Given the crowd stress he experiences on the bus, isn't that walk a justifiable, even a necessary luxury? Isn't it a way he compensates for his morning failures?
That is an excellent point. It forces us to consider that efficiency isn't always just about saving money or time. Sometimes it's about necessary self-regulation.
On reset.
A mandatory reset button. Paul's high-friction morning and his stressful, crowded commute mean he is highly depleted by lunchtime. That walk outside. The financial cost is probably justified by his immediate need for a mental and physical break.
While Emily, with her controlled, low-stress morning, might not need that reset as urgently.
Right. But she also misses out on the benefit of that 10 minutes of non-digital outdoor immersion. It's a trade-off.
So Paul's chaos forces him into an expensive but, mentally healthy midday break, while Emily's rigidity makes her fiscally responsible but maybe more sedentary. It's not a clear win for either approach.
It never is. There are always costs and benefits. But the results of their lunch decisions, they manifest dramatically about 2 hours later. In the universal villain of the workday,
The 3 p.m. slump.
the slump, both of them experience that draining afternoon sleepiness where their eyes are due.
And their fixes for it. They perfectly encapsulate their entire routines. It's a perfect summary.
Absolutely. Emily, the disciplined individual, she ate a controlled, nutritionally sound breakfast and lunch. She goes for the healthy fix, green tea and a small snack, an apple.
Slow release energy. Hydration. Fiber. It's a choice designed to provide sustained output without a subsequent crash.
She's thinking ahead.
And Paul, the comfort seeker, goes for the immediate gratification fix. Sometimes more coffee or a cookie.
That sugar and immediate caffeine spike is a perfect echo of his morning snooze button. It gives him instant comfort.
Followed by an inevitable crash a little later. He's just creating this internal energy volatility.
If we look at this through the lens of glucose management, it's clear. Paul is treating the symptom, the sleepiness, with a temporary high-impact stimulus. It ensures his energy levels look like a roller coaster all day.
While Emily is applying preventative maintenance, she's making choices that flatten that energy curve, keeping it stable.
And these tiny micro decisions, the tea and apple versus the coffee and cookie, they are tangible evidence of how your routine defines whether you sustain your energy or just seek these temporary, fleeting escapes from fatigue.
As the workday winds down, we reverse the stress factors. The bus is crowded again, the car traffic is terrible again. But 5 o'clock brings the promise of transition.
The promise of home.
And the moment they walk through the door, the shift from work stress to personal life begins. And it's often dictated by their immediate greeters.
The immediate reward is home, yes. And the introduction of their pets provides this wonderful moment of humor, but also a sharp delineation of their personalities. It reflects how they handle both unconditional love and responsibility.
Emily's dog, Max, provides the classic, overwhelming, high-energy reception. jumps, barks, uninhibited joy.
Max is an immediate external demand for affection and interaction. He physically pulls Emily out of her workday focus and into the present moment at home.
And Paul's cat, Bella, offers a reception that is, well, it's pure low-effort management.
It is. She looks at me and she says, meow! And Paul's interpretation is immediate and very funny. He knows it means, hello, now give me food.
And crucially, Bella is explicitly stated as the boss of my house.
That comparison is perfect. Both pets require care, but the dog offers this immediate, high-energy emotional boost. The cat, on the other hand, offers a cool, immediate reminder of domestic servitude.
A comfortable servitude, but servitude nonetheless, framed by this passive dominance.
That distinction, the high-energy boost versus passive dominance, it's quite telling about the type of relationship Paul is comfortable with at the end of a long, stressful day.
Yeah.
He needs predictable, low-demand comfort.
He's had enough demands for one day.
Exactly. And despite all these differences, there is one shared, critical habit they both agree upon. It confirms its universal psychological importance.
The immediate clothing change.
Yes. They take off the work clothes, the blue shirt or the dress, and they put on comfortable clothes. Not full pajamas yet, but a t-shirt, soft pants.
This physical transition is so essential for mental health. It's an act of demarcation. It's drawing a line in the sand.
You're taking off the uniform.
Taking off the work uniform is a physical signal to your brain that the performance aspect of the day is over. It creates a necessary boundary between professional stress and personal relaxation. It's critical in this modern, always-on world.
And this leads us to the dinner routine, which is perhaps the most vivid illustration of their organized versus flustered approaches spilling into basic domestic life.
Emily's approach is that she loves cooking. She finds it very relaxing.
For her, it's a creative outlet.
Right. She cooks simple things, soup or pasta. The ritual involves cutting vegetables and listening to music. She's noted as being a very good cook. For her, this is a form of active meditation, a predictable, creative, calming act that reinforces her overall sense of control.
And for Paul, cooking is a source of immediate, intense stress because he admits he is a bad cook.
And this is where the source material gives us those spectacular, humorous anecdotes that just perfectly define his chaos. He gives specific examples of his failures.
Burning the chicken, burning the rice, his lack of focus and planning, his rush, it bleeds into his execution of even simple tasks.
But the ultimate failure, the moment that truly defines his extreme reactive nature, is when he attempted to boil water and bunned it.
He burned water, he forgot about it, and all the water was gone. It's an astonishing moment of culinary incompetence that speaks volumes about his mental state.
That phrase, burning water, it's a perfect metaphor for his entire routine, isn't it?
It's perfect. When you are constantly fighting the clock, perpetually depleted of your cognitive resources, even the simplest, most fundamental tasks, like supervising a pot of water, become casualties of chaos.
He's so mentally scattered that the easiest possible task becomes a high-stress failure point.
So to avoid that stress, to avoid the cleanup of domestic failure, his solutions prioritize maximum convenience.
Simple pasta with tomato sauce. Eggs again.
Or ordering out, primarily pepperoni pizza. He outsources the domestic friction. He pays to not have to deal with it.
And this contrast just underscores that organization isn't just about spreadsheets and to-do lists, it's about your internal personality. For Emily, the task is relaxing because it's a controllable, creative process.
For Paul, the exact same task is a stressor because his default state is flustered and reactive. His avoidance strategies, though they're expensive and maybe less healthy, are psychologically necessary for him to decompress from the high-friction day he created for himself.
We've made it to the final stage, the closing loop. The wind down before the whole cycle starts again tomorrow. And this is where the initial identity, the morning person versus the night owl, is reinforced.
This is where they prepare themselves for their respective alarms.
Paul first tackles one necessary act of discipline. He cleans the kitchen. The source says, good job.
He does his chore, and then he finds his ultimate comfort. He sits on his big red sofa, and Bella the cat sits on him and sleeps.
The very sweet, simple comfort. It grounds him physically and emotionally. That weight, that warmth.
And his entertainment is purely compensatory. He watches funny movies, comedies, because he says he explicitly needs to laugh after a long day.
It's a psychological balm. It's a form of instant escapism to counteract all the stress he accumulated, from the snooze button through the bus commute to the inevitable email overload.
Emily's evening routine, however, is structured around quiet, gentle activity. She reads a book, stories.
And she has to take Max the dog out for a short walk at night. She notes that the night walk is very nice because it's quiet and she can look at the stars.
So you see the loop closing there? Her quiet walk at night is the mirror image of her quiet reflection time at the window in the morning.
She's bookending her day with intention, with quiet, ensuring low stimulation and high mental clarity at the start and at the finish.
Exactly. Emily structures her evening around activities, reading, walking, observing that prepare her nervous system for restful sleep. Paul structures his evening around passive, high-stimulation entertainment movies, internet scrolling, which tends to prolong cognitive engagement and delay the natural onset of melatonin.
And this brings us to the final, crucial difference.
Yeah.
The sleep cycle contrast, which solidifies their identities. The consequences of all their earlier decisions are now fully realized.
Emily, the morning person, goes to bed early. 10 p.m., she adheres to her routine. Brush teeth, pajamas, reads in bed for 10 minutes.
And then immediately, she's asleep. She gets a lot of sleep. Her proactive morning routine created the space for a structured, early, and deep rest.
While Paul, the classic night owl, goes to bed late, 11:30 p.m. or midnight. He admits he watches one more movie or I read something on the internet.
He's chasing that last bit of personal time, the time he feels was stolen by the rush of the morning and the demands of the workday.
He's prioritizing his personal freedom now over his functional rest later. It's that same pattern of immediate gratification.
And this is the moment of self-reflection in the source material where Paul acknowledges his pattern. He sees it.
He recognizes that the late night means he's tired in the morning, which creates, in his words, a big circle of being tired, needing to snooze, being late, and then staying up late to reclaim the personal time he sacrificed.
It's a vicious, self-perpetuating loop of exhaustion.
He's trapped in it.
So what does this all mean for the listener who finds themselves trapped in that same loop?
Well, the synthesis is that Emily's proactive, intentional choices are designed to do two things: minimize friction and conserve willpower throughout the day. She invests time early waking up, making lunch to save stress later on.
And Paul's reactive, comfort-seeking choices are designed to maximize immediate gratification, to avoid stress in the moment.
Which results in compounding friction and chronic depletion of his energy and willpower.
The key insight here seems to be that even these small habits, like adopting Paul's simple uniform system or Emily's scheduling of reflection time, they aren't isolated acts.
Not at all. They significantly impact your daily stress and your energy reservoirs because they regulate that critical, finite resource we call cognitive load.
We often think routines have to be complex, but Paul shows that simplicity can be incredibly powerful. And Emily shows that consistency is everything.
Before we conclude this deep dive, let's leave you, the listener, with a challenging, provocative thought that builds directly on Paul's self-admitted big circle.
Okay.
We've established that Paul's chaos starts with that snooze button, and it ends with the late-night internet scrolling. Those two habits are his highest friction points, the bookends of his chaotic day.
They feed each other.
They absolutely feed each other. So if he could successfully implement just one of Emily's morning strategies, just one, perhaps switching from that jarring sound to soft music, or committing to the no phone by the window rule for just 5 minutes.
A tiny change.
A tiny change. How drastically would that interrupt his self-admitted cycle of tiredness? Would one positive, low-effort change create enough internal momentum to prevent that late-night overconsumption of entertainment? Could it break the chain?
That's the question. We see that the most efficient routines aren't about doing more. Emily's routine is simple. It's not complicated. They are about eliminating the need for complex decision-making in the low-energy moments of the day.
The morning and the late evening. It's all about building a better decision architecture for yourself when you're at your most vulnerable.
So look at your own 24-hour structure.
Yeah.
Where is your highest point of avoidable friction?
Which one small, chaos-inducing habit in your routine, whether it's the snooze button, the instant email check, the wardrobe choice, or that late-night scrolling, could you swap for a simple blue shirt system, freeing up the mental energy you need most?
Because the smallest change at the highest leverage point can derail that big circle of chaos.
That's the hope.
That is the ultimate takeaway. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the lives of the proactive organizer and the reactive comfort seeker. We hope this comprehensive look gives you the insights to craft your own deliberate, high-leverage routine. We'll see you next time.